So I think we can all agree that we love whenever we have those light bulb moments on guitar. Somebody says something, you see something, you learn a lick, and it clicks for you. You finally get whatever that concept is that you were trying to get under your fingers. So today I want to show you guys something that really inspired me as a player, incorporating chord progressions, chords, triads, and melodies on top of it in a way that sounds much more complex than what it actually is. So if you guys dig this and you want to keep hanging around, keep getting the lessons, all that stuff, do me a huge favor, hit subscribe, and like I said, if you just dig the lessons, this is the biggest way to support the channel. Alright, so let's get it. And there's not really going to be tabs for this one. I think this is much more conceptual, but no, come on, let's get it on. So something that was born out of necessity for me as a player, and I think maybe a lot of us can relate, is I typically was practicing by myself. And back in the early 2000s and stuff, I didn't have backing tracks and all that kind of stuff really to practice with, so I had to be my own backing track. And how I did that was I realized I could hold down a single note of a chord and outline it with triads and scales and stuff like that. And I could kind of do both parts at the same time. Now, I'm not as good as like guys like Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan and all of them who also did this, but it was very inspiring and exciting for me. And what I did to practice this was I would take basic chord progression. So like the one I did in the beginning, I did a C major, I went to G, and I went to F, and I went back to G. Okay? Now, the challenging part here, and I would recommend doing this first, is I needed to be able to play that progression everywhere. And I actually had a little voice recorder that, I didn't know how to record, so I just bought a little voice recorder from Best Buy, and I would record myself playing these chord progressions for hours so I could play over them as well. But before I figured that out, I did this. So I would be like, okay, C, and then G, and then F, and then C. Or sorry, then G. And but what I would do is I would only hold down a single note. And this is a great way to get away from your cowboy chords, and I think leads to sounding quite a bit more sophisticated than maybe what you are as a player. And that's just me talking to myself, because I definitely didn't know what I was doing, but now that I have a little bit more of an understanding, I can hopefully, give that, pass the knowledge on. So for me, the chord progression sounds great, It's very basic. I'm going from my 1 to my 5 to my 4 and back to my 5 of the key of C major. Now, your C major scale and your A minor scale are the same. So if you've learned your A minor pentatonic, well, you can play over this progression pretty comfortably. You're just going to have to play a C and then play a lick. G, F, back to G. And that's just all A minor pentatonic. But what I didn't want to do is have to always be jumping down here to play the chords. So I would play the bass note right here. There's my C, and I would play while I held it down, because the issue with this, what I didn't like, was I'm like, well, the chord stops when I start playing. Well, if I do it like this, extra chord that I went to A minor. We'll do that here in a second. But you can hear how I'm not really doing anything crazy. I'm just putting a little melody. Okay, should have went to G, but I went to A minor. And you can make your chord progression a little bit more emotional. Add some more chords to it from the scale. So D, A, back to G, then D, A, F, E, so here's what I want you to do, and I'm going to show you a more basic way to do it, and then the way that, slightly more advanced is the way that I'm visualizing a lot of this stuff. So for starters, just get to where you can hold down the bass note, so C note here, 8th fret on the low E string, and play your, corresponding A minor pentatonic or C major pentatonic box over it. So this one happens to be what a lot of people refer to as the BB box. Right here. Box 2. Okay, just do that. Don't do it as sloppy as I just did it. Okay, so we have that one. Now, when you go to your G note, play it as well. Maybe, just as much as you can. There's the BB box. An F. Now, I would move down if I was an F to box 1. Back up to the G. And then go back to C. And then get to where you can add little melody ideas over. Not so much just straight scale. Add a little bit of melody to it. So let's do this. Okay? There's our melody. And I'm going to go to this one. Back to G. Look at that. And to me, that sounds immediately more interesting than... there's not a lot going on here. Now, you can add notes to this, too. It's just tools in the tool belt. You can always go back and just play the basic chords if you want to, but having this tucked away in your repertoire of ideas and concepts and layering and songwriting, all that stuff, dude, it is a great tool to have. It's just like shredding, all that kind of stuff. You learn these techniques and ideas, so they're there whenever you want them. So I know for me, whenever I'm writing music, I like to know that, like, whenever I hear something in my head, I'm like, oh, there's that. It would sound cool if there was this sweeping arpeggio in the background. I like being confident that I can pull off what I'm hearing. That's what all this stuff is for. So this is another thing. This isn't sweeping, but this is a whole different skill set that it takes to do this, to play slow and methodical, but also make it interesting. That's very hard to do. And I'm not saying that I've mastered that by any means, but these are the things that are helping me feel like I'm at least making some progress and being able to write, again, what I'm hearing in my head. So what I want to leave you with is how I'm viewing it when I play over this stuff. So for me, I'm seeing two main things as these chords are moving around. And then, I can show you a little bit more advanced one, adding some extra chords in there. So when I play that C note, I'm not viewing my pentatonic scale. I see my full C major scale all over the neck. And I'm more just kind of being like, all right, what tone? What tone am I hearing that I want these notes to follow? But what I'm also doing is seeing my triads of the chord. So when I play that C, I'm seeing all those minus that non-triad power chord right there at the end. So it's a combination of kind of still playing the chord because it's involved in the scale. All these notes are in there. And adding the scale to spice it up. See? Hear how instead of just going, like that's just straight triad. But if I go, you know, it kind of led me to this next chord. If I was going to A minor. D minor. You know, and so on. But that's really how I'm seeing that. So each time I do a chord, I'm seeing the triad of the chord, but I'm also seeing my scale on top of it. So it gives me a lot of real estate to work with on top of this. Again, start as simple as you need to. Pentatonic scale over top of it works great, and it already adds a level of complexion that maybe wasn't there before in your playing, and it's pretty easy. I'm taking two things you already know. You already know your pentatonic scale. You already know your basic cowboy chords. Just add, I mean, we're literally just taking one note from the chord, playing it somewhere else, and playing your scale on top of it. So if you want to get more complex, you know, there's your C. You know, add more licks over top of it. Then you go to the G. You know, there's your F. To your D minor if you want to spice it up a little bit. So for this one, I just play an open D string. Anytime you can have open strings, it makes it way easier because then you're totally free to play. Okay, and I'm still doing the same thing. I'm just playing C major. Do that. I could go up here at D. What did I do? Outlined the chord. Again, that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking triads and scale, pushing them together. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you got something out of that one. Much more conceptual than just showing you a lick, but sometimes these are the most powerful lessons. Like I said, it's just things that I figured out. I mean, it's just like Hendrix stuff, you know. I didn't create this, but I realized it as a young player out of necessity because I liked having rhythm behind what I was playing, but didn't already, you know, always have someone around to play rhythm. So, anyways, hope you enjoy that one. If you'd like to see more of these, dude, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I don't think I've ever asked you guys to hit the like button once in my life. Hit the subscribe button. You can like it if you want. But that's crazy. I don't think I've literally ever asked someone to hit the like button. Anyway, I'm just out of here. Who knows what's going on. All right, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Later, homies.